Welcome to Aurelia Strike. As far as your opening hand goes, yeah, I think I like this. We have Tormenting Voice and Ring. We don't have a white source, so do we want to keep this? We do have at least some sort of mana rock or fire. Yeah, why not? Let's go to keep it. We'll make it work. Hopefully the Boros gods will give us some really nice white sources, some white mana sources. That'll really help us kind of get it going. All right, so we just played actually not that long ago. So our opponent said they made a few tweaks. I'm excited to see what they've got going on. Let's go ahead and get down Mountain. And then anything else, we're going to go to pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing Aurelia, Flying and Mentor. Then, at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose up to one target creature you control. Until end of turn, that creature gets +2/+0. It gains Trample if it's red, and it gains Vigilance if it is white. So, we'll see what we draw into, but either way, we'll at least be online for Fire Diamond. Mizzy Mortis. Okay, it's actually pretty good against a Prime Speaker deck. So, I'm happy about that draw. Let's go and get a Command Beacon. Yeah, let's go and go for Fire Diamond. If we hit the land drop, or at least another white source, that puts us online for a pretty quick Aurelia. We don't really have any sort of equipment on the battlefield at this point right now, but still swinging in with a 4/5 with Vigilance is, you can definitely get a pretty good clock going. It's going to put it on about a 5-turn clock with that, so we can make that work. We are playing Prime Speaker Zegana. She's going to enter the battlefield. Actually, let's get our turn going first. Draw to roast. Do we want to roast follower? Some deep fried merfolk. Let's go ahead and go for Tormenting Voice. I want to see if we can't hit the land drop. That'd definitely be a lot better. And at this point right now, we'll just go ahead and chunk. I kind of like Blood Mist. Yeah, we're going to get rid of Ring. It'd be nice to hold on to Ring, but this is one of those, yeah, if we're going to get rid of some of this stuff, I like everything else we've got going on in the hand. Draw into another mountain. All right, let's go and get down Mountain, and then anything else, we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. We're playing against Prime Speakers. Prime Speakers are going to enter the battlefield with X+1 counters on it, where X is the greatest power among creatures that you control. Then, whenever Prime Speaker enters the battlefield, draw cards equal to its power. So get a ton of stuff on the battlefield, get some really big creatures, and then draw a ton of cards, which is pretty much everything that you want to do in a Sound the Simical Arms deck. So, and actually, now that I say that, I haven't said Sound the Simical Arms in a long time, so I need to make sure that when we're playing against Simic decks, I say that. I always like saying that. But yeah, we've got some mountains. We got some red mana. So if you came for a video with a lot of red mana, this is the video for you. So hopefully, fingers. But also, we have a ton of red cards in our hand too. So. It is not mono red, so hopefully we can hit a white source pretty soon, and then we can kind of go from there. But we've got some good stuff to set up. We've got Blood Mist, we've got Hedron Archive, and we've got another way to kind of control the board. So if stuff gets a little nutty, we can at least still go ahead and go for Mizzy Mortars. And then once we get Galvanic Blast online, get that Metal Crab, that's going to be 4 damage lightning bolts that we can deal to somebody. And Galvanic Blast, and I can't tell you how many times I've died to a Galvanic Blast in Modern. I still love the art. I mean, it's kind of one of those... how am I describing it? Like when you get into Magic, actually, let me think about how I want to describe. Ooh, Valduk. Okay, we don't have any equipment, but that's at least going to give us some elementals on the battlefield. Yeah, I like that. Let's go and get down Hedron Archive though. Yeah, if we had equipment, I'd get down Valduk, but I kind of want to get our mana going, and then we can worry about getting down Valduk next turn. So let's go and get down Hedron Archive, and we're going to pass the turn. But there's certain Magic cards that you can see them, you can kind of feel what that spell is doing. Uh-oh, hopefully the opponent's not passing through their turn. Hit the F3 real quick to make sure that they don't cycle through there. But yeah, with Galvanic Blast, you can see where like she's like shooting that lightning bolt out, and you can like feel the power of the card. I always really enjoy seeing, and especially like Roast, you can see where that creature's going to get roasted by some lava. I don't know, it's just really nice to see certain cards that really kind of portray what's going on. You kind of feel the lightning bolt going out of your fingertips. But yeah, I've gotten hit by Galvanic Blast a lot in Modern Affinity, and so, but I still enjoy the card for the card art, so that's always nice. Let's see what our opponent's going to get it down, and then either way, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to have 6 total mana. If we hit the lane drop, that will put us online for Blood Mist and Valduk, so we can at least kind of get some good stuff going. Now, as far as the deck goes, what are we doing with Aurelia? We're trying to get as many pieces of equipment on the battlefield, and so one of the ways that we can definitely take advantage of that, deals 5 damage, target attacking or blocking creature, and then Resurgence. Okay, so one of the ways that we can do that is kind of get a little bit extra collateral value off of some of our stuff. 1, 2, I'll highlight that. I'll talk about that in just a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 total mana. Do we want to go for Mizzy Mortars? Yeah, let's do that. Let's go for just a board reset. Because we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's going to allow them to get some mana. At least it's going to set them back a turn. And if we need to, we can go for Roast. Yeah, let's go for Mizium Motors Overloaded. That's just going to give us some time. Okay, so let's go clean up their board, and then we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. But mainly, we're just trying to set them back as far as tempo to get us a few extra turns to kind of draw into some more stuff and kind of get that going. But when you're building a Voltron deck, one thing that you definitely want to do is kind of have backup or safety plans. That's going to be stuff like Balduq. You know, we're running a deck that has a ton of equipment in here. Game plan is to put it on Aurelia and get some pretty good combat damage going. But let's say that Aurelia gets sent back to the command zone a bunch of times. We can't keep her on the battlefield. Having something like Balduq to kind of get a few extra, elementals on the battlefield or something like that really helps us kind of push our game plan. All right, draw into Thray and Dynamo. We can still get down Hedron Archive. Man, we're going to have, as soon as we hit that white mana, we're good to go. Let's get down Thray and Dynamo. Let's go and go for a Blood Mist. And actually, if we want to, we can just start swinging in with a 3-2. Yeah, let's do it this way. Let's get down Balduq. Yeah, I like that a little bit better. Let's get down Balduq. That way, if we draw into a piece of equipment, we can get those elementals going for next turn. And then we can also still get down Blood Mist and end up with a double striking Balduq, at least at the very minimum. All right, so no elementals, unfortunately. And always, when I play, I need to play Balduq for the channel, actually, now that I think about it. But one of my favorite things when I play him is I like imagining in his art, so he creates those elementals. If you look in the very bottom right corner, you can see an elemental. You can see like little, kind of like gecko-looking hands on the forge. And so I always like imagining him just banging the forge with his hammer to kind of get those elementals out of the I like imagining those elementals popping out of the forge, so it's always a fun little thing to kind of imagine. One thing that you can do is if you look at the elementals tokens, they will look just like those little guys in the shadow, so kind of keep that in mind. All right, so we do draw to Marsh Flats. Wonderful. Let's go and get down Marsh Flats. It finally opens us up on white mana, and with Tatyova on the battlefield, let's go and crack Marsh Flats. Let's go and grab Plateau. There we go. I was going to go for Roast. Once again, going for that deep fried merfolk. And I'll kind of explain why I'm talking about deep fried here in a second. It's going to be going to take care of Tatyova. We'll swing in for a 3-2. And we might end up cracking Hedron Archive here in a little bit. If we need to, we can, but I kind of like holding on to the amount of mana that we have. All right, so it's going to swing in for 3, so knock our opponent down to 27, and then we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, we are online for a Galvanic Blast. We can use that 4 damage, but deep fried. So I'm from Texas. I'm from Dallas, if you did not know that. And one of the things that we have here in Texas is the State Fair of Texas. I love it. It's a lot of fun. And if you've never been, maybe you're not from Texas, it's this huge, I don't know how to describe it. There's show animals, there's pigs, there's cows, there's sheep. There's a big stadium there. There's a big Ferris wheel. There's everything that you would imagine at some sort of fair. They have, the Midway where you can play a lot of games. Do we want to crack Hedron Archive to draw 2 cards? Yeah, I think so. We've got Thray and Dynamo. Let's do it. That's going to hopefully allow us to it does keep us off of Galvanic Blast, but hopefully we have a ton of artifacts in here. So we should be able to get Metal Crab back on. Ooh, Steel Shaper's Gift. I'll take it. Click OK. And then we draw into Sigarda's Aid. And unfortunately, we're going to be bottlenecked on white mana. Let's do this. Let's go for Steel Shaper's Gift. And actually, if we go for Sword of Body and Mind, protection from blue and green. Yeah, that's going to be really good. Let's go for Sword of Body and Mind. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. That'll turn us back on for Metalcraft with Galvanic Blast, and we can still equip it onto Balduq and kind of start working towards us getting some tokens down too. Now, hopefully, if our opponent has some sort of bounce spell or something like that, they're going to use it now, because once we get down Sword of Body and Mind, we're going to be basically protection for blue and green. So I'm just going to get that 3/1 elemental token. All right, so we've got the elemental swinging across. Let's go and swing across. It's going to be a 5/4 and then a 3/1. A Winged Codal. Okay, flash flying, and then death touch. Let's go and go for Galvanic Blast. I do apologize. Sorry, I probably have like 5 pieces of removal in here, and we have it all in our hand. There's not a ton of removal, and Yeah, because that flying and death touch is not going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so they're going to go for sheltering word. Okay, there we go. It gets hexproof. We can still swing past on the Codal. They're going to take care of that elemental, but yeah, that death touch is not going to be a lot of fun for us on the battlefield. And I just have flying, and that does kind of keep us off Aurelia. So basically, what we're going to have to do is still basically kind of get these sort of body and mind over onto Aurelia, and that way we can still push past on that death touch. So, all right, so we got 5-4 and a 3-1 swinging across, and then we'll knock our opponent down to 20. It's going to get a little bit of mill action going, and we'll end up with a wolf token for our trouble. So, anything else, we're going to go pass turn to our opponent. But yeah, so one of the things that the State Fair of Texas is they have animals there. They have different rides that you can do. One of the cool things is they have a car show there, and I know that sounds goofy, but they have a car show, and it is. I don't know, it's a lot of fun. All the major manufacturers are there, and then typically what I normally do when I go to the fair is we go walk into the fair. I get a fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which is just, if you're sitting there saying, hey, that sounds really good, it is. It's really good. So I always get a fried peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Depending on how early we get there, I get some deep fried bacon. And basically, it's like chicken fried. It's like a chicken fried steak. It's like chicken fried bacon. I get one of those. We go to the get a beer. We go to the car show, walk around the car show. And then they have this kind of like this craft building where people can submit like jellies and quilts and different things like that. And so we go in there and start looking around. Then my wife and I, we get a corny dog. And then we typically get like maybe like a funnel cake or something else. But if you want to see what the State Fair has as far as deep fried stuff, they have a ton of deep fried stuff available. I mean, there's so many crazy things. And then, but yeah, it's just wild what sort of stuff they can deep fry that you can definitely get going. Now, we do have, let's kind of jump back into Magic talk. We do have response in our hand. Deal 5 damage, start attacking your blocking creature. And then creatures you control gain first strike and vigilance until end of turn. There can be an additional combat step. And it's going to be beginning of combat. So that's going to allow us to get a few more elementals going. And then we do draw into Ancient Tomb. I think I like that. That's going to be a few more. Let's see how much mana we've got. So we get down Ancient Tomb. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can actually go for Blood Mist and Resurgence. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, let's go for it. This is pretty much what you need. Unfortunately, we're not getting down Aurelia, but this is pretty much what you want to get going in some sort of Boros deck. It's just really kind of start swinging in some really aggressive stuff. Let's go and go for Resurgence. And that's going to give our creatures first strike and vigilance. And after this main phase, there's going to be additional combat steps. So we can get some pretty good damage in. And I'm pretty sure that will, at the beginning of combat, yeah, so we should get a few more elementals too. There'll at least be one more elemental. And with us having first strike, it's at least going to allow us to kind of push past off of Prime Speaker and Winged Codal. Okay, let's go and go for Blood Mist. Let's actually target the wolf, because that's going to allow us to swing across and get those elementals going. Okay, and I just love Blood Mist. I love, I don't know, I played in Yidris a lot, and it just always feels so good, and like, I don't know, it's just the card art, and I can imagine making that wolf have the Blood Mist or whatever. I don't know, it's just a really cool, it's always a feel-good card getting that down. All right, so we've got a 3-1 swinging across. We have a 2-2 wolf token with Double Strike, and we have Valduka, who does have protection from blue and green, getting at another wolf token on the battlefield. No, they gain vision, so it does not untap the creature. So any sort of wolf token that we get down will not be able to swing in, but we're at least going to be able to hopefully get in for a pretty good chunk of damage on this one. Okay, it's going to put them down to 13. And then we'll get another wolf token. And then we'll get another elemental swinging across. Let's go ahead and give, I guess, Valduk Double Strike? Yeah. Because, yeah, we give Valduk Double Strike. And then maybe we could have done that earlier. But, yeah, once we give Valduk Double Strike and then the Wolf token, we should, yeah, that's going to be more than enough with Valduk. And we'll also get an additional elemental, too. So let's go and swing across for a 5-4 with Double Strike, protection from blue and green. Unfortunately, we didn't really get Aurelia on the battlefield, but this is pretty much what we would be doing with Aurelia. It just worked out to where we could get down to Valduk a little bit quicker. So it's always nice to swing across and get some pretty good damage. You can see how fun this deck is. You can get some really nice interactions going. Stuff like Sword of Feast and Famine. One thing that we do, sort of body in mind, is that we're running a lot of the swords in here that don't give us protection from red, simply because we don't want to get in a position to where we can't use something like Blood Mist or use Aurelia's ability. So that's why we're using Sword of Body and Mind and also using Sword of Feast and Famine, because any of the protection from red would definitely cut us off of stuff like Blood Mist and Aurelia. But this is pretty much what we're going to be doing with Aurelia. We just got it done with Valduke and this particular match. So we're going to knock our opponent down to -3. Good game to our opponent. Unfortunately, we had a ton of removal in our hand. We had Rose, Galvanic Blast, Mizian Mortars, a lot of ways to basically kind of keep those deep fried merfolk off the battlefield. So, but anyway, good game to our opponent. If you enjoyed the video and the State Fair of Texas talk, and actually, hopefully I'm gonna be going to the State Fair of Texas this year, and I'll be doing a video on it. I'll take some pictures of whatever I eat, so that we can kind of see what kind of food I get into. There's a lot of good food out there. So, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.